Welcome along to the Isolated Home podcast with me, comedian John Pearson, stuck at home during COVID-19 lockdown in the UK. This podcast was started to talk about home and how isolation was helping me with being with my wife, who lives in Mansfield and lives in London in a flat on my own. But now it's become a bit more about the situation in the UK because it's called home and we're all stuck in our houses. So I'm trying to talk to a lot of creative people that I know, and asking them about how things have affected them. So this is me. You can see me now. If you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a subscribe button around about here somewhere floating around because I've tried to design something like that. Hopefully it's there. If it's not, I look like a fucking idiot. So yeah, I'm going to be talking to creative people that have been affected the most by the COVID-19 at the moment, because it seems to be only affecting entertainers and people that work in 0-hour contracts. Well done everyone else that's got a proper job, unlike us that just fuck around telling dick jokes on stage. So we've got Stephanie Laing, who is with us today, a very old friend. I've known her for absolutely ages. She's also a stand-up comedian. She's just come back from the Adelaide Fringe Festival, where she was over there during all the lockdown and stuff. So we're going to speak to Stephanie. Here she is. Hi, Steph. You all right?
Hey!
Stephanie's here, back in the country.
Yeah.
Scary times for a while.
Yeah, it was proper stressful for a bit there.
Did you not think you were going to get back?
I worried I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I was in New Zealand at the end of it. And I was about to possibly have to go and stay on the sofa of some absolute strangers.
Really, actual strangers?
I had not met. Who were like friends of a friend. But then, lesson in being nice, right? I booked flights and they were cancelled. And then I booked some more flights through Flight Centre. And I was really nice to the Flight Centre man because everyone was being very grumpy with him. And I was like, are you okay? Are you fine? And then he managed to get me onto a flight where like just one ticket had come up. So I think he must have remembered that I was like a nice person.
That's amazing. So do you think he picked you out individually and went, oh, she was
I like
nice.
to believe that.
Pay it forward, Steph.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. Oh, that's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But also quite scary in the fact that you might not have been back.
Yeah, I was quite frightened. And then my flight home was via Santiago. And my parents didn't tell me this at the time, but they were like Googling Santiago and like the crime rates there. And they were like, if that's where you get stuck, you're fucked.
Aren't parents great?
Yeah, they're really grim.
Parents really like to look on the worst side of things.
Yeah.
My parents did the same thing. I didn't speak. My dad rang me 2 days ago. I didn't answer the phone because I was in a conference call with a load of other comics and we were just talking. And I thought, I won't answer it because it's my dad. And then within an hour, he'd rang me 5 more times because he thought something had happened to me. When I rang him back, I'm like, no, nothing's happened, Dad. I was just in a conference call. He was like, oh, right, okay. I was like, well, what have you guys been up to? He was like, oh, we've got the builders round. They're putting a new patio in. I was like, look, how can you be bothered about COVID-19 when you've got a load of builders walking through your house all having tea out your kettle?
Yeah.
Absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. So you're back in the country after a really good Adelaide Fringe, I think. You had quite a good Fringe, did you?
I had a lovely time, yeah.
You've become like a bit of a... sort of like I wouldn't say a name. Are you a name out there? You do it all the time, don't you? You always go to Adelaide now.
It was my 3rd time doing Australia and New Zealand, a little tour down there, yeah.
And it was...
I think people like me.
I think they must do if you keep going back. There's no way.
New Zealand went really well. I had 5 nights booked. I only got to do 2 because I cancelled the last 3 because I thought that was a sensible thing to do. But people came and laughed at the things that I said.
That's amazing. That's good.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Perfect. And then you flew back and now you've got no work whatsoever.
Yeah, I've got no money ever coming in ever for the rest of my life. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much how we all live our lives now. We can't even try and claim any back.
No.
Because
I've tried to get universal credit, and that whole system is totally jammed up.
Have you tried to call?
I haven't called yet, no.
So I heard somebody called the other day. Oh, actually, I saw another comedian, Tom Glover, who I'll probably speak to him at some point on here, but he actually got his universal credit paid to him today.
Wow.
And he only rang up yesterday. Now, he has got 2 dependents. He's got 2 children.
Whereas I, technically, this is fun, have counted even before COVID-19 as my sister's dependent. So that's fun.
Why are you your sister's dependent?
because she has a proper job and I don't, and she pays most of the rent because she pays almost all the rent and she buys all the food. She went to the bank and they were like, "Oh, so your sister, she's your dependent?" And she was like, "Is she?" And they were like, "Yep." And then they laughed apparently for a while just about
I just
me.
realised I could be my wife's dependent
Yeah,
because I'm
it's a
earning
blow
nothing.
to think of it. It haunted me for a little while.
I'm absolutely fine with it.
Okay, good.
I feel like that means that she's got to go and do stuff for me.
Yeah,
Is that how it works?
I think she has to care for you.
Care for me in every time of need. Gabby,
Yeah.
I need some biscuits, and that'll be it. She's got to go out and face the apocalyptic wasteland that's happened after COVID-19 to go and get me some hobnobs. Would be the best way to do it. Good. Fine. Well, so yeah, so you live with your sister, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
and she's in the house. What does she do for a job?
She is a fundraising manager for a sight loss charity.
Is she classed as a key worker at this point?
She is not a key worker, but I think she's going to be able to keep her job throughout this.
Yes.
So she's doing all the financial side, and then I'm doing all the cooking and cleaning, I suppose. And then I'll probably do maybe a bit of volunteering, so I feel useful.
All I do at the moment is I tend to just do this. I set my YouTube and all this sort of stuff up in a little office. My wife works from home in the other office, which I've set up for her, because I used to be an IT technician, and I take that down every night. I put it back up every morning, and I make her cups of coffee all day. That's me being a caring dependent.
Yeah, scrappy little dependent, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to make sure I've still got a job at the end of this. That's what I'm trying to do. So it is scary times. Obviously, you've seen it from a very scary place now, with the fact you might not have got back into the country at one point.
Yeah.
So we're in lockdown. So when did you get back?
I got back 2 days ago. So I'm quite jet lagged still.
So you've been back in the time that we've actually been locked down, pretty much.
Yeah, I got back the day after we went into lockdown.
Wow.
And there were no additional stuff. There was no additional stuff going on at the airport.
It was just flights
there
in.
Wasn't. Yeah, as in you flew in and they didn't ask you any questions. They weren't like, "Do you have any symptoms?" or "Have you been around anyone who might be sick?" or anything. They were just like, "Come through, we'll be fine."
Really?
Yeah, that really bothered me.
Yeah, see, that would bother me. See, again, a bit like my wife, she went to Co-op up the road the other day, and she came back and she was really freaked out at the fact that no one was really social distancing.
Uh-huh.
She was like, I was looking down the aisle and being like, "There's people down there, I won't go down that one yet." And then when she was down the aisle, people were just walking past her.
Yeah.
And she was like, they're not very wide aisles. People were brushing past me and stuff like that, and the person that hands you the bag from the till, she was getting really freaked out. She went for a massive, literally just had a shower in Dettol.
Oh.
Just to try and clean herself off. So
gargling bleach.
Yeah, so she's never going to the shop again, basically, is what's happened. So now that's my job. So you're back, and now you've got nothing to do. How long do you think it's going to be? How long do you think we're going to be in this situation, Steph? That's the one question I ask everybody on the podcast. So they reckon 3 weeks till he looks at it again, and that was a week ago.
I think that we'll be in lockdown for at least 2 months. I think that he thinks that as well, but he can't say that because people will freak out and start rebelling.
Yeah.
So he's saying 3 weeks. So we're like, "Oh, that seems manageable." And then we'll get to the end of that and he'll be like, "Just another 3 weeks, you'll be fine." And then we'll be like, "Okay, that's cool." And then we'll get to the end of that and he'll be like, "Just another 2 weeks." And we'll be like, "Okay, cool, manageable."
So it's been a month. So it's been 2 months.
Yeah, and that's how we get through it. I think it will be 2 months, and then they'll relax it a little bit and a little bit. And then there's a possibility it'll come back and we'll have to do it all again, and it's somehow cyclical. I don't know. But I don't think things are going to get back to normal before the end of the year necessarily.
So I spoke to a guy earlier on today, and he was a teacher, and he thinks the kids might be back at school by September.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can't see it.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know about schools, I don't know about that, but I think, like you, I think it's going to be at least 2 months, if not more. And then it'll be relaxed. So it'll be things like, oh, you can go out a bit more now. You can go and see your parents. Do you know what I mean? You can go to other houses, but don't spend too long. And it'll be little relaxing things like that. Mm-hmm. We're not going to be back at work until at least, I don't think, Christmas.
I agree with that. I'm still too jet lagged to work out what the fuck I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I agree, like, some people are super judgy about the fact that people are putting content out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's so ridiculous because it's our work. We don't have any money coming in. And even if we can't make money from putting content out, it's so important for us to have some kind of profile so that when the gigs start coming back in, promoters are like, oh, I remember that.
I remember
person.
that, yeah, remember that, but they put loads of stuff out. They were doing loads of things about this. Oh, remember they did that and this. Yeah, that's what it needs to be about.
Yeah. So I do have to think about how to keep doing that. I had a dream last night that I did a gig. And I went into the room and I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like the audience were really awful people and they're like loads of 5-year-old children. And I was like, oh, this is going to be awful. But then I woke up and I was like, no, I missed that.
I missed that buzz of having, I missed the buzz of having a shit gig.
I missed the buzz of resignation.
You're such a comic. You're like, oh, I was having I had a terrible dream about this terrible gig, but I really missed the feeling of being on stage.
Yeah.
Which is how I do
attention?
feel it at the minute. I am feeling this whole, like, crawling the walls.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't suppose you are. You've only been back 2 days.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Although I did wake up this morning and think, oh, I quite like this to be over now, actually.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is my second full day in isolation, so...
It starts to get worse. It gets worse and it gets better. That's what I'd say isolation goes, oh, you get a really dip at about... It's a bit like the Fringe. As in, do you know you get the dip in the second week going into the third? The second day going into the third, you have a dip, and then you sort of lift out again for the last day. The
so
third.
It's like a fringe, but that's potentially 3 or 4 months long.
Yes, yeah. So it's go week by week is what I'd say. It's basically the emotions of a fringe in a week.
Yeah,
that's how we're going to work it. So you have dips, you have ups, and then you have euphoric bits, and then you have I can't be fucking bothered bits, and then you have I'm doing loads of stuff. At the moment, I'm in a sort of like I'm just doing loads. I said to Adam earlier when I spoke to him, our agent, Adam Rushton, give him a mention. He'll want 30% of whatever we'll get from this podcast now.
You're on 30, yeah. Okay, cool.
I might. Oh, okay. I was talking to him and I was saying I'm busier than I've ever been, but making no money from it.
Yeah.
I'm doing so much stuff. I've learned so much in the last... I must admit, it's been great for me in a way. I've learned so much in the last 7 days of good. How to record stuff, how to stream stuff, how to YouTube stuff, learning how to get things out on YouTube a bit better and all that sort of stuff. So it's been fun, but I'd like to start earning some money now.
Yeah.
The way I used to.
I want to do it in the ways that I like.
Yeah, not in the sort of ways where I'm going to have to go and stack shelves at Aldi, which... I've got no problem with doing that.
No.
I will do that if that's what it comes to, but I don't really want to.
And
I also don't know if... Because I can't... I probably could sign up for Universal Credit, but I feel like everyone is.
Yeah, like I'm quite conflicted about that because I do need some money, but then I also feel like other people need it so much more, and the state's going to be under so much strain at the moment. So if I can live off the money that my sister's making... then maybe I should do that.
Yeah, that's my idea. That's my thinking, is that if we can live together, if I can make a little bit of money from doing some online content and stuff just to pave my way a little bit, then at least we can live off the money together, and then we're not taking the money off people that really need it, people that have got kids and stuff like that. If I can last for a couple of months probably.
Yeah, and we don't have any dependents. We are dependent. So
as we've worked out, we are the dependents in this situation. So please give us our money. We're so dependent on other people, we can't make our own money. That's how we work. I love the fact that we're now both dependents.
Yeah,
so funny.
Great. It's great for the ego.
Oh, it makes me feel fantastic about myself. So you reckon 2 weeks, and then you think it won't be back.
2 months.
2 months. 2 months. 2 months,
yeah.
And you definitely think it won't be back to normal before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And you think the same as me?
Things will be relaxed and we'll be able to hang out with people, which I'm already looking forward to. And then we won't be actually gigging again. I think we might not be gigging again until they have a vaccine.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
Possibly until they have a vaccine and they've sent it out to people. Because how I feel, people say, oh, it's just the flu. It's fucking not. Obviously it's not, and that's a dumb thing to say because it's so much more infectious.
Yeah.
But the other very key difference between the flu and COVID-19 is that there isn't a vaccine, so we can't protect vulnerable people. So once we have a vaccine, then it basically is the flu, but a lot more infectious. And once all those people are protected, we can just fucking go back to normal. But it just depends when that happens. And that's going to be like a year probably before they have a vaccine.
Wow. Didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
I've always
Sorry.
thought about it in like a symbiotic relationship sort of way, where we'll just end up just living with the fact that COVID-19 is a thing.
Yeah.
And like we said, like the flu. So the flu's around all the time. And
Exactly. Well, it is a kind of flu-y, coldy thing. Like coronavirus is a generalized term for that kind of illness, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that this is a particularly spready one.
I like the way you're describing it, the spready.
Yeah, I'm quite the scientist. I should shut up, really, because I'm not a scientist.
I am quite the scientist. This COVID-19 is quite spready.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, it spreads like bilio, doesn't it?
Spread like bilio is the way they should describe it. I
Yeah.
hope that's what happens in the history books. When we're long gone, they'll be like, wow, that COVID-19, that spread like bilio.
Yeah, remember?
Remember how bilio that spread?
I made a proper vow to myself that if anybody on a podcast or any kind of interview situation asks me my opinion of it, I would just say, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. But now the first time I've come on one, you've asked me, and I'm like, well, what I say is going to be too much.
My scientific opinion is actually...
Yeah.
Love it.
No, well, you probably should listen to me, actually. Don't
You've made yourself an expert.
Yeah.
That's what you've done. Well, it's been fun to speak to you, Steph. I think we'll probably end it there because that's like 15 minutes. I'll try and keep it to a short chat. I don't want to piss people off.
Sensible.
But I hope you have a nice... Try and get over your jet lag.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. And say hello to your sister who you're dependent on.
I will.
Keep making her all of her food and you'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going to be fine. You're going to be fine too, John. I believe in you.
Thank you. Thanks, Steph.
And I look forward to seeing you in person one day in the next 5 to 10 years.
It doesn't matter now, does it? It will just be like normal comics where we'll be out gigging again but never see each other, and then we'll gig each other
Yeah.
for like 3 weeks. I'll be like, oh, can you remember when that COVID thing was? We're like, nah, it was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's so hack to do jokes about that now.
Yeah, who's doing COVID jokes? Oh, God. Be awful. But yes, thank you very much, Steph.
You're welcome.
I'll
Thanks
see
for having
you
me.
soon. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
That was Steph Laing, everybody. Again, great comic that I like speaking to quite a lot. We don't speak enough, actually, me and Steph. Like I said, we don't gig very much together because we're always around the country and stuff. Not now. We're all sat in our houses doing nothing. So it was good to speak to her. It was nice to get her opinions on what is happening with COVID-19 and the fact that she thinks it's going to be here till next year and that we'll never be going to theatres or bars until January. Fun times. Who knows if that's going to be a thing. If it is going to be a thing, then fucking subscribe to this YouTube channel because I'm going to be here forever and you will see me get thinner and thinner and thinner as the food starts to run out. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading and subscribing. There is a ticker tape going across the bottom. If you could please donate to the Patreon or put in any money in the PayPal, that would be lovely. If you put it in the PayPal, say, for the podcast, and that will make me know who you are, and I'll give you a big thank out. Thank out, shout out. Shout out, I'll thank you with a shout out on the podcast. So you'll get to see your name probably, whatever. I'm trying to get some merch sorted out as well. If you can go onto the Patreon, I'm going to try and sort some merch out. If you start subscribing to the Patreon, so that's every month, I might sort some merch out. I'm thinking of getting hoodies. I want to get some hoodies. I think some blue, maybe some white hoodies with my name, my face. Who knows? I'll try and get something sorted out. But you guys keep me going. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if you're listening. I've been seeing the numbers and they keep going up. So all I can do is keep bringing people on, and I keep enjoying recording these podcasts with people. So I'm going to go. I'm waffling now. I'm going to get off. Thank you very much for listening to me. Please subscribe. Please like all the stuff. Please do whatever. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Do all that. I've been John Pearson. Thank you. See you later. Bye.